Hi, my name is Emma Sargent and today I am recording my assessment task for the unit of Support the Recruitment, Selection and Induction of Staff. I have reviewed my checklist and I am ready to begin. Today I will be interviewing Emily for the position of Human Resources Officer at the O10 City Council.
Hi Emily, I'm Emma. I'm the HR Coordinator here at O10 City Council. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me today.
Do I take a seat?
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. So first of all, just let me say thank you for coming in today and thank you for your application for the position of the HR Officer. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was great. I went and saw the new Captain Marvel movie.
Good?
Yeah, it was really good. I love all the Avengers and all those movies, so yeah, it was really good.
Oh, I'm dying to see it. So you give a good recommendation?
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. I'll have to go and check it out. I'm jealous. The purpose of your visit today is to interview for the HR officer position and for me to answer any questions that you might have about the role, okay? So what I will do is explain the process for today, a little bit about the position itself, how our department fits within the organisation here at the council, and then we'll move on to some more formal interview style questions where I can draw on your previous experience and current experience in a HR-based role. We'll elaborate a little bit further on your application. And as I said, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Okay, thank you.
If at any time you're unsure about the question or you would like me to rephrase the question, please just ask me. It's not a problem at all. I'll be taking some notes during our interview today. It's just to help me remember. Basically, I want to get the most out of our time together today, so taking notes is going to help me along with that process.
Sure.
Please don't be nervous by this. It just makes sure that I can keep up with our questions. Any questions so far?
No, that's all good, thank you.
Fantastic. So the O10 City Council is a fantastic workplace. So we have about 300 staff here across various departments. Now our HR team itself is quite small, but we're a really strong and quite close team as well, and we pride ourselves on providing high quality support, advice and guidance to all of our employees in all of our departments. Our team does focus on ensuring the advice and the information that we do provide to our staff members is timely, is accurate, so that we can best assist all of our employees who are here.
Yep.
Okay? Beautiful. Do you have any questions?
Not so far.
Beautiful. So as long as you're comfortable, I'd like to move on to the next stage where I can ask you some questions about your application.
Yes, that'd be great.
Fantastic. So with the HR officer role, what interested you about this position and prompted you to apply?
Well, I currently work in planning, as you're aware from my application, and I've just felt working in a small business, I've been exposed a little bit to the HR side of things, and I think that I'm a bit of a people person. I really enjoy that side of my job, so that sort of prompted me to start looking actually into HR and retraining in that area. And so seeing this job, and then I've recently completed my Cert 4, I thought, okay, now's the time to actually try and make that transition. So that's why I applied today.
Fantastic. And an officer role is a really great starting point to get you into the HR industry.
Oh, great.
Who did you study Cert 4 through?
It was just through Newcastle Tafe.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I know a couple of the teachers there. They're wonderful to work with.
Okay.
So you're in planning. What do you like best about your current role there?
I love organisation, so I love organising things, planning things, time management, all that. I really like that side of my job. So, and I think that's something that you do need to do a lot of in HR. So that's sort of one thing that I was like, well, I'm going to be able to still do those and have those skills and transfer that into this role that I'm a bit more interested in now.
No, that's fantastic, and it's really good if you can bring skills across and can build on them as well. So that's fantastic. If you could change one aspect about your role, what would it be?
I think just being more hands-on with people. I don't have a lot of client contact, and I quite enjoy just the day-to-day dealing with clients and people and listening to what's happening in their lives and their problems and all those types of things. So we don't get a lot of that now, so that's why I'm sort of looking for a role where it sort of includes those types of functions.
No, that's fantastic. So with us being as part of the council, we do quite a bit of face-to-face interaction with our internal clients.
Okay.
And all of it is, of course, documented via email or in formal format. So you do get both the personal face-to-face and you do get your written response as well. So you will get that here. Okay. of the role itself is working with a performance management system. So what experience do you have with a performance management system?
Currently, I really only work with KPIs. So we have performance reviews quarterly, and so at each meeting you sort of have an idea of what you're meant to achieve, and then at the next meeting have you achieved it, and those types of things. So that's all I've been exposed to so far. I've obviously learned about the different types through my certificate, but day to day I've only really dealt with KPIs.
And how does your quarterly performance reviews make you feel?
I really enjoy it because I like having a structure and knowing sort of what's the next thing, and being able to work to a goal, achieve it, and then know what's the next thing to do. So I really like that sort of structure.
No, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So with our performance management system, we always like to reaffirm with all of our staff exactly what goals we have as a business, how that relates to the team, and then how you as an individual contribute to that overall goal.
Yeah.
So we'd like to really positively reinforce that and show you where your position is so that you know what you're working towards.
Yeah. Okay.
In terms of feedback, we also like to give both constructive feedback as well as positive. It gives you a bit of an idea of where we place you, and you can always ask for information on how you can change your outcomes.
Yeah.
Now, as part of the HR team, we strive to deliver quality customer service to all of our internal customers. So this is such a big focus for us. So can you tell me what quality customer service means to you?
I think customer service, I think to make it a quality experience, active listening is really important. So actually understanding what it is that the person's trying to say to you so you can actually deliver it. And then having empathy and sort of trying to put yourself in their shoes so that you can understand why it is they are requiring that or feeling that way, and then being able to decide what is the best way forward with that reaction. So I think listening and just putting yourself in other people's shoes is the best way to achieve quality customer service.
No, that's fantastic. And active listening is really, really important because once you establish what the need is, that's when you can best work to assist our customers as best as possible. So that's fantastic. And from your application, I can see that you're currently in a town planning role. So obviously, is that quite busy?
Yes, generally lots of different tasks and all sorts of.
Do you have a few files going at once?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you manage and plan and then prioritise your work if you have such an extensive workload?
Well, the main way I do it is through Outlook, so I'm very calendar orientated. We use Outlook at my current job, and so you have to-do list functions and things like that. You can put prompts and get things to be notified to you a few days before things are due. So I focus a lot on that so that it's in a centralised sort of location. But then day to day, it's taking notes and just writing little to-do lists for the things that are important for that day. And then any sort of information that comes out of that, then putting it into Outlook or the company's service system that everyone can see for main things that everybody's got to be aware of, not just me for that project. So they're the main ways I find it's better to have a couple rather than too many, because then it's too many options and the information gets lost.
No, that's fantastic. So you're a calendar sort of person.
Yes.
No, that's wonderful. Good stuff. So obviously with those kinds of workloads, and if you do have quite a few people working on similar projects at the same time, is there much workplace pressure or workload pressure?
There can be. It's very, most jobs are very dependent on deadlines. So sometimes jobs will come up and they have to be done straight away. And you try to avoid that, but that's obviously can't always be avoided. And then other situations, you've got 2 weeks or 4 weeks to complete a task, and that's your deadline, so you're working towards that. So it's just about fitting everything in together to make sure that important tasks and urgent tasks are being done at a suitable time, not just straight away and all that.
So can you give me an example of a recent occurrence where you've had pressure, work pressure in terms of workload?
Recently we had a job where the developer wanted it lodged, development application and everything lodged on Friday. So we were working towards that deadline, but we started to realise that that was a bit unrealistic because we hadn't received all the reports that we needed. And so there was a lot of pressure there, but to sort of counteract that, what we did was we rang the developer a few days before and just said, if we don't get these reports sort of in these time frames, we're not going to be able to deliver. so we're not going to be able to make this deadline. So just making them aware of that. So there was a lot of pressure there, but to try to be realistic, we thought it's best to talk to them about it and see like why we weren't going to be able to deliver and not just leave that to the last minute to spring it on them. So
you're proactive in making people aware that there were deadlines,
Yeah.
and whilst you might not meet them, you made them aware before the
Yeah.
process actually occurred.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Unfortunately, sometimes you just can't avoid
All the
avoid deadlines.
variables.
Yeah, some things are just out of our control. But if you do take
Yeah.
important steps to trying to avoid them or alleviate the pressure, fantastic
Yeah.
work. Can you give me an example of a goal that you reached recently? It can be work-related, fitness, personal.
Well, I would say getting my Cert 4 then, so studying for that, I did that part-time because I work full-time currently, so I think just trying to manage my time and just general life and work and then getting that study done, that was I felt an achievement for me because it is quite hard to work and study at the same time, so I was really happy when I got that because it just cemented for me, okay, now it's time for me to step up and I've reached this goal and now I need to do something with it.
That's fantastic. So what steps did you put in place to make sure that you would complete that goal in your allotted time period?
So I scheduled time aside a few days a week for study. So I made sure that I had all my assignments written into my calendar so I was aware when everything was coming up and allocated time, basically reverse engineered it so that I knew when I would have to have things completed by, so that when work came up I could fit things around and I already knew that instead of putting Tafe off to the side, which I think a lot of people, you get reactive to things, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get stressed out and all that. So.
Fantastic. So proactively planning and knowing how much time to assign really got you through. Yeah, that's fantastic. Good to know. An important part or an important component of the role is to provide advice and support to our employees. Do you have much experience with the legislation relating to HR positions and roles?
Only really sort of workplace health and safety because in my current role I do a lot of site visits and things like that, so we have so we have a manual that outlines everything that we need to do. So things from like you have to have a hard hat and a first aid kit and all those types of things. So I'm aware of those types of requirements, but I haven't had too much experience with the other types.
Not a problem. So I'm sure throughout your studies you heard of things like equal employment opportunity legislation, anti-discrimination legislation, the Racial Discrimination Act, as well as Fair Work legislation, which is a really big one. So your experience perfectly fine. Would you be open to training in those areas and learning more about this legislation, as it is such an vital part of the role?
Yeah, definitely. I have a keen interest, particularly in the Fair Work sort of side. So I know you've got to know everything, but that was something during my studies that I was quite interested in. But yeah, just haven't had any practical experience.
That's great. If you've got a keen interest in something, we like to grow on that so we can help you guide in the right direction to learning more about things that do interest you.
Yeah.
So that's nice to know. Have you ever had to give anyone some HR-related advice?
No, not yet, no.
Okay, so if you were in a position where you did and you were to provide advice, sometimes when we do this, it isn't always well received. It may be challenged and it may cause conflict within the workplace. So in that instance, how would you manage the workplace conflict?
Well, I suppose it depends what it was. So in my current role, I do deal with conflict often, not in the same way, I suppose, but over things like fees and like with clients and deadlines, those types of things. So it's about sort of focusing what is the issue and then who is best to address it. So in some cases, it's better for me to go to my boss or because they're more senior, discuss it with them, and then so that they can tell me the appropriate way to handle it. Sometimes they'll take over or they'll say, okay, this is what you need to relay back. So I think it's about determining exactly what the issue is and who's the best person to handle it than trying to solve the issue.
No, that's fantastic. In that instance, if you weren't sure, are you comfortable with reaching out to somebody for support to support you?
Yeah, I think I would be. Yeah, especially being in this role, there would be, I imagine, other seniors that I could. So yeah, I think that I would be.
Great. Now, that's wonderful. At this point, I like to speak to our applicants and just ask, do you have any questions for me? Anything relating around, say, wages or work conditions themselves?
Just what are the hours generally? I understand it's a full-time role, but is that 9 to 5 or?
Okay, good question. Thanks so much for asking. So we work on a 38-hour week from Monday to Friday.
Okay.
As part of that, you do get a 1-hour lunch break,
Yep.
as well as 2 10-minute breaks that you can take throughout the day whenever suits you. What we would work if you were looking for flexible working arrangements, we do support those here.
Okay.
So our standard hours are 8:30 till 5.
Yep.
However, we will work with you. So if you would like to adjust your hours, by all means, all we have to ask is a formal written application, and we're quite happy to work with you and work around that.
Okay, great.
So Open City Council is a fantastic place to work. In terms of this role itself, the starting base rate is around 55,000. So does that align with your expectations for your current experience and the role itself?
I think so, because I'm starting out. I think that is a reasonable salary, yes.
No, fantastic. And with training and with growth, there is obviously the opportunity to build on that as well. So
Sure.
please don't hesitate to ask us if you do have any questions. We do like to go through a few of the benefits as well. Some people aren't aware of what we do actually offer as a council. So we also offer, as part of your 38-hour working week, we do also offer 1 roster day off per month.
Okay.
A lot of our team like to use them as Monday or Friday,
Yeah.
give themselves a long weekend.
Yeah.
Some people are sneaking add it on after a long weekend and get a 4-day weekend. We've got some clever cookies.
Yeah.
Check your calendar first. They
Yeah.
go like hotcakes.
Yeah.
The team do like to take them, so that's perfectly fine. We also do offer study assistance for HR-related study as well. So if you decided to go on and do your diploma, if you decided to go to uni and study this as well, we can support you with that, including time off to study and time off to go to exams, separate from your annual leave requirements as well.
That's great.
Yep. Our team as well do specialised HR training days where the whole team do like to go out.
Okay.
Sometimes they are specific training days themselves based around HR processes. Other times we do like to have a little bit of fun. We might do things like a raw challenge or an escape room. So we do like to keep them a little bit of fun as well.
Yeah.
Works great,
Yeah.
so is having fun.
Absolutely.
So we do like to encourage those sorts of, positive vibes and good relationships within our team that are not just completely strictly work-related. We do have a corporate pool and gym membership that you can sign up to. Okay, so it's included as part of your package, and we can give you some information on that as well. As I mentioned earlier, we do have your flexible working arrangements. We also do offer paid maternity and paternity leave as well. Because there's one thing that people do like to look for, of course, in an employer, so it is very important, and we do have that on offer for you too. We are part of a corporate health fund as well. So we do offer generous discounts as part of the membership themselves. So we can give you information on what those funds actually offer and the benefits that are available to you. You're under no obligation to sign up, but by all means, for your benefit, do have a look over it. I did mention the corporate gym, the pool, and we also do like to advise, and we do leave this one to last, that we actually do have an employee assistance program. So have you heard of one of those before?
No.
Beautiful. So an employee assistance program is a assistance program designed to help all of our staff in any related matters that may be affecting them, not only just at work, but may also affect them at home as well. It's a free service provided, and it is 100% confidential, where you can go and discuss with someone who is completely separate from the business about anything that may be troubling you, or an aspect of your life that you may feel you could benefit from a little bit of assistance with. So as I said, it's at no cost to you. You are entitled to go within your working hours as well. 100% confidentiality, so no one knows, and it's a free service offered available to you at any time. Okay. Beautiful. So how does that sound?
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. There's a lot of perks.
we like to keep the perks rolling here. So with this in mind, we do aim to make our decision by Friday. So with that, if you were successful, when would you start?
I need to give 2 weeks notice, so 10 days including weekends. So that's what I would need to do.
Not a problem. Now, would you like to take an extra week off for yourself in there?
Probably not. I don't think I have much leave, so I'm pretty ready to start.
No, not a problem at all. That's fantastic. Now, if you are our preferred candidate, we would like to be in contact with your referees that you have listed on your application. Before we do go ahead and contact them, we do ask that the contact details you've provided, are they up to date? Yes, Beautiful, fantastic. And do your referees know that we may be contacting them?
They do, yes.
Okay, fantastic. It's always good to know
Yes.
that one. Beautiful. So, look, I want to say thank you for your time today. It has been an absolute pleasure meeting you. If you have any questions or concerns about the position itself or about today, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. My email address and phone number are, of course, on the email confirmation I did send you.
Yes.
But I'm always available to answer any questions that you may have, or if you're not certain about anything that we've discussed.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking to you real soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.